Hello there, and welcome to the Sheff United Way. And today we're going to be talking about all things the Championship and predicting the table from position 1 to position 24, because that's how many teams are in the Championship. Hal, how are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, good to start off with a fact. I like that. You've done your research, Nick. You know how many teams there are in the table. For now, let's just make that sort of exciting, just in case there's a chance of any team dropping off, completely disappearing. Who could that be? Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic segue going into position 24, Hal, because I've gone for, believe it or not, Sheffield Wednesday. And the only notes I've written for this one are down, down, down. But would you like to add a little bit more information and colour to that?
Yeah, okay. So if we're starting with 24th position, which I think makes sense, leave the best till last. Sheffield Wednesday, I also agree with you. I've gone Wednesday and 24th. I think most people will neutrals as well. A mess off the pitch. They may, Nick, be galvanised as a group. Like they might feel it's like an us versus them kind of approach. There'll be some stirring dressing room team talks, I'm sure. But it won't be enough. They'll be relegated. The North stand, the Chancery stand, that sounds like it's not going to be open. I don't really understand how they've still sold tickets on that. That's a real mess. Actually, a really bad feeling around the place as well from people I've spoken to. And I actually feel for the good, honest, hard-working Sheffield folk who are employed by the club. The people that work in the club shop, the cleaners, office workers, they don't deserve to not be paid because of one man's actions. I actually said that on Twitter, and my DMs have not known peace. I didn't think it was that controversial a statement, but I stand by it.
No, neither do I, mate. Neither do I. I was speaking to a bloke yesterday at the match, and I uttered the words, "I don't want Wednesday to go bust." And he looked at me like I just spat on someone, and I'm like, I just want to have a rivalry. Like, what's wrong with that? We don't want to be a one club city like Leeds, who've got no rivals, or pretend rivals like Man United. But I'm sure there's no Leeds fans watching this video today. But I'll just quickly throw in there, they've still got Danny Röhl as the manager at time of recording. So that's something, because a lot of people put stock in the fact that Danny Röhl is an exceptional manager. I'm still waiting to see that exceptionalness. Exceptionalness. Not a word.
Not sure it's a word, actually. No.
Could be a word. Could be a word.
Coin it.
But what is certain is that Wednesday going down for me anyway. So let's move on from 24th, because like you say, I think a lot of people are going to be saying Wednesday for 24th place, at least relegation. Moving to 23rd, and this might shock you, Hal. I've gone for Stoke City.
Whoa.
Stoke have been getting worse and worse and regressing season on season, and losing Berger, who I believe is their best player by a long shot. I think that I would have loved to have seen 𝗬𝗽𝗫 play for Sheffield United next season. But they've lost him, and I just feel like Stoker, this is finally going to be the year that the trapdoor opens and they're going to get sunk into it.
I don't agree with that, because in 23rd, I've actually gone with Hull City. I can't see them scoring much, but the real reason I've gone with it, transfer embargo. I think because of that, they are doomed.
Fair enough. New manager as well. So, yeah, obviously Ruben Sayers could work wonders at Reading, and obviously kept Hull up last season. You're trying to say that the new manager's not going to keep him up. The crazy thing that I've noticed when doing research on the Championship is I didn't realise how many teams have got new managers, and how many teams have got, I won't say unknown managers, but foreign managers that have not managed in the Championship before, or one, for instance, has managed one season, worked wonders at Barnsley, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But yeah, I think Hull could be in and around there, but I do feel like a couple of these foreign managers will work wonders, just like what happened with Sunderland last season. But let's go into 22nd place. And mate, I'm really worried for Preston. I feel like Preston could go down this season. I love 𝗍𝗫. I really want 𝗍𝗫 to keep them up. And the signing of Michael Smith, even though he's an ex-Wednesday player, I do feel like he will still get them goals, but they've lost 𝗚𝗿𝗄, so I'm wondering whether his goals are gonna match up to his goals or whether they're gonna fall a little bit short. And we know how close Preston were to going down last season, especially after, starting quite well under 𝗍𝗍. So, yeah, they had a really poor end to the season. I think it's gonna continue.
22nd for me. Again, I disagree with you, which makes this video interesting. I've gone with newly promoted Charlton Athletic, League One playoff winners. 𝗍𝗿𝗲𝗍 comes in, could be good, but also could find it tough. It's one of those you just don't know. Amari Bell, always useful at championship level, but I don't think it's enough to move the needle. Difficult season. Ultimately, I think just missing out on survival. I think Charlton will give it a really good go. You mentioned a lot of new managers. There's one that knows the championship and has actually done well in it before, Nathan Jones. But I do think Nathan Jones will be going down. And that might be a bit of a shame for Charlton fans. I don't really have any feelings towards Nathan Jones, but I've got a lot of friends who support Charlton, and I would be sad to see them go, but I don't think they're going to have enough. So that's my bottom three.
I was going to say you've got a really good mate that's a Charlton fan that's been on this channel before talking about 𝗍𝗫𝗍𝗍. So he's not going to be very happy with you about that one, but he might be happy just about with me because in 21st place, I've gone for Charlton Athletic. They have done some decent business for where they are as a club. It's good to see them back in the Championship as well because they were a Premier League team for a number of years, and I think they were one of them teams like obviously football's moved on, but it's nice to see a team get promoted and then stay, 6, 7, 8 years. I think it were about 7 years that they were in the Premier League. And since then, they've not done anything. So it's nice to see them get a promotion. And I'm not a massive Nathan Jones fan, in all honesty. I think he's one of them that if he's your manager, you love him. But I think from an outsider point of view, I'm not a massive fan of him. He does, play up to the cameras a little bit, I think. But they've done some decent transfer business to keep them up, in my opinion. I think Nathan Jones's passion and steel will just about keep them up. Who have you gone for in 21st?
You'll never guess. Preston North End. We've done the old switcheroo.
Switcheroo.
Preston North End, you could say Preston North End yawn whenever it comes to talking about them, because I believe there'll be another season in the Championship. 𝗍𝗫𝗍𝗍 won't, in my opinion, score the goals that they've lost. You mentioned Reece leaving. I like 𝗍𝗍𝗍. I'm not sure Smith's going to be enough either, as like you said, to replace those goals. I feel like 𝗍𝗍𝗍 will keep them up, but the squad doesn't excite me, so that's why I've gone with 21st.
Do you know what? I completely forgot that Dan Jefferson had signed for them, and I don't think we're going to see much of him this season, other than missed compilations on Twitter. Anyway, let's move on to 20th place, which I've gone for Oxford United. And do you know what? I love the fact that we've both gone for Oxford United outside the bottom three, because that would have been an easy pick for a lot of people, just to dump Oxford United back into the relegation zone. And actually, I've not gone for any teams that got promoted as well in the bottom three. So
That's
I'm pretty
right.
happy about that, because it's the lazy thing to do quite often, but sometimes it's the easy thing to do, because last season, looking at it, Plymouth, Oxford, and Pompey all look like they could have gone back down, but obviously only one of those went down. So let's see what happens. But Oxford, I've gone for 20th place. Gary Rowett is a fantastic Championship manager, in my opinion. And I think he's going to continue to work wonders. I don't think he's a top end manager, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I think he's just a really good, not, I don't want to say journeyman, because that's a bit disrespectful, but I think he just knows the Championship really well. And they they exceeded expectations last season, and they're going to continue to do it, in my opinion.
I agree. 20th place, Oxford United impressed me. Their place last season, not so much at the Lane. So yeah, not in the relegation zone this time around. Luke Harris on loan from Fulham could be crucial.
I wonder why you were shocked when I said 20th place Oxford. I thought you were going to put them in the playoffs or something like that. So
no chance, no chance.
no, that's the reason, because we got in the same place. So 19th place, I've gone for Pompey.
No.
I don't put enough stock in Pompey this season. I went a bit crazy with them last season.
You did.
I thought they were going to finish in I think I went 10th or something like that. But I think, again, they did really well last season. And I think they're going to do 19th for me is well again. But they're another side like Charlton that stayed quite a few years in the Premier League, dropped out and then dropped again. and they're making a little bit of a resurgence. But no, I think it's too difficult to kind of flirt with the promotion spots or even the playoffs really for Pompey.
I think Pompey will be, for another season in the Championship, better than they did last season, but I'm not going to go as high as 10th. We'll get to them. In 19th, Watford, a real unknown quantity. The manager will probably be sacked by Christmas. It's 𝗍𝗲𝗄𝗏 is the manager, and I don't know enough about him, which means I don't know what they'll get from him. Looking at the squad, I think it's good enough to not be in a relegation scrap, but only just. That's why I've gone 19th, Watford.
So in 18th place, Hal, I've gone for Hull City. Again, another new manager with no real EFL experience. They're a basket case of a club, Hull City, and I think everyone knows that by now. Obviously, losing Ruben Sayers, I think he would have done better for them. I'm not saying he would have worked wonders and taken them up the table, but I think he'd have progressed year on year with them. But yeah, they're just going to be another Watford, aren't they? They're just going to keep throwing managers in the bin and buying another one.
It's a good way of putting it. I've gone with Stoke City in 18th. You mentioned Berger leaving, big blow. They just don't have enough to do anything much. Mark Robins, a decent manager. Ashley Phillips, who United are linked with, will be big again for them, as they'll have a lot of defending to do. I don't think they'll be in the relegation zone, but I do think Stoke City, the Potters, will be another dull season for their fans. It's a good fan base. 18th.
Fair enough. I'll be honest, I forgot all about Mark Robins, and I do put a lot of stock in Mark Robins being a really good manager. So maybe that one wasn't the best of placings, but you got to stand by your placings. So let's move into 17th place, QPR. They've lost the manager, really, really good manager as well. I can see them finishing in and around this little cluster of teams that we're not 100% sure about. I know they've re-signed Karamoko Dembele. They had him on loan last season. They've full on signed him. That was in my brain, so I thought I'd just say it. And Poku as well. Signing Poku from Peterborough is a good signing, but I'm not sure it's enough to get anywhere near the playoffs.
I disagree with you with QPR, but we'll come to them. I'm amazed you haven't mentioned this team yet. You obviously think they're going to have a much better season, which will be exciting. 17th, I've gone with the Welsh team playing in the English League. Get that. Wrexham. Yes, a season of getting to know the league. No chance of promotion, in my opinion. A dull season for the documentary. Danny Ward, a calamity as goalkeeper. A tough start. They've got Southampton, West Brom, Millwall, QPR and Norwich all in their first 6 matches. I think they'll get off to a really difficult start and they'll be playing catch-up after that.
Wow, this could be one of those that we look back on and be like,
Clip it.
Yeah, clip it. Could be really good, could be really bad. But let's move into 16th place. I've gone for Swansea City. I actually think they did a lot better than what anyone expected last season. I think they're going to have a slight drop off this season, but I don't know. Do you know what? I'm looking at the team above them and I'm thinking I should swap it around. I'm going to swap it round.
What?
I'm going to do something that we've never done before.
Outrageous.
I'm going to throw Watford. I'm going to throw Watford in at 16th.
Unbelievable.
Just for the reasons that you've already said.
You've been swayed by me.
Day,
you can't be swayed by me. You just said before you've got to stick to the courage of your convictions. You've been swayed by my silky tongue. You have.
No, I don't like that. No, I've been swayed by how good Swansea City were last season in comparison to what I expected. So that's the reason why I'm going Swansea a little bit higher. But I've gone Watford, another new manager, and looking at their signings, I just don't know enough about them to have a really, really good opinion on Watford. But, another basket case club that just keep getting rid of managers constantly. So I'm happy to stick Watford in 16th.
Boo. I've gone with your favourites at Portsmouth. No danger this time around. Decent side under John Mousinho. Their home form will be crucial. Look out for Luke LaRue. Could be sneaky good. Could not. That's always the exciting thing about. Could be sneaky bad, but I just think the name alone makes me go, well, I'll have a little look out for him. So 16th, I've gone with Pompey.
Say his name again.
Luke LaRue.
Because when you said it, I went, ooh.
It's great, isn't it?
In 15th place, I'll guess who I've gone for.
Swansea City.
Of course. Obviously, last season they did fantastically, way better than what anyone expected. But I think this year we're going to get a little bit of a drop-off, but they're going to finish nowhere near the relegation zone.
Yeah, finished 11th, of course, last season. You think they're going to do worse this time around? I've actually gone with QPR 15th, same as last season. Julian Stefan, I think that's how you say his name, new manager. I don't know. I feel I don't know enough about him to make a bold claim that they'll push for the playoffs. So I've got them down in mid-table, despite, as you've already mentioned, some good signings.
Who knows? They're definitely not going to be anywhere near the bottom three, in my opinion. Clip it if not. 14th place, Hal. I've gone for Blackburn Rovers, and I could have easily gone lower with Blackburn Rovers. They've lost Tyrese Dolan, another one that I wish would have come to Sheffield United. Crazy. Espanyol, though. I didn't see that coming at all. I thought it was going to be a top-end championship club. Andreas Weimann, Danny Bartz. I don't know, if either of those two are really going to make that much of a difference. I know they've both been great in their careers, but I don't know where they are in their careers these days. It seems like they're at the tail end. Yeah, I do feel the worst for Blackburn though. I feel like they could finish a lot lower than what they did. Especially seeing them at Bramall Lane last game of the season, they were rubbish. And but we've had a full summer. We're gonna have signings.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Blackburn Rovers, 14th place. Ishmael, good manager.
Nice.
Dolan, as you've said, going a blow. By the way, check out the Espanyol home shirt for this season. It's really nice. But I underestimated them last season, so I'm going with mid-table this season because I had them nearly relegated last season in our predictions. They did a lot better than that. They often seem to start well. I think they probably will again, and then they'll just tail off.
And I've just thought, my next club, I love that neither of us have gone for them finishing any lower than 13th because we've got to put loads of stock in John Eustace because Derby County in 13th I've gone for. And that's an incredible achievement compared to, what they were last season. So I think the Derby fans will be ecstatic with the 13th place finish. So who have you gone for in 13th place, Hal?
Derby County, Nick.
Hey!
Here's my
It's
notes.
almost like we've seen each other's before.
Well, we haven't, but you've said pretty much the same thing as me. John Eustace, decent manager, 19th last season. So, they'll do better this time around. I like Carlton Morris as a signing. Aggie Man will improve them. And they've got our nemesis, Andreas Weimann. So I think they'll be absolutely fine this season. I know some Derby fans are even predicting that they'll make the playoffs. I've not gone quite that far. We've both gone 13th.
Fair enough. You've got a dream. You got a dream, and John Eustace is certainly a really good manager. Imagine if they get relegated now with John Eustace after us giving him all this praise. But he's done so well in recent seasons for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. I'm really looking forward to seeing where Derby finish this season. I think it'll be really interesting. Now let's go 12th place, and I've gone for. Sorry, Bristol City fans. I don't think you're going to finish in the playoffs this season. New manager coming in, Gerard Struber. He hasn't got loads of experience managing in England, but he did keep Barnsley up, as I alluded to earlier on in the Championship when they were rock bottom. I can't remember who it was, but a team did have a big points deduction that season, but it was still a massive success to keep Barnsley up. So I think they'll be okay. I think they'll do well. They've lost a couple of older heads, but yeah, I don't think they're going to reach the heights that they did last season.
12th place, I've gone with Swansea City. Now, they could be great, but they could be awful. So that's why I thought they'll have that kind of season where they'll be topsy-turvy and inconsistent. So I've gone mid-table. Alan Sheehan, is he the man? I just don't think so. So mid-table, despite the squad being arguably better than 12th place.
Well, let's see. There's a lot of interesting clubs this season, and Swansea City aren't one of them. 11th place, I've gone for someone that is an interesting team that everyone's going to be looking at this season. Wrexham.
Yeah, I knew
Our
it.
old friends, Wrexham. And you know what? Before the start of the season, before the transfers came in, I wouldn't have put them anywhere near 11th place. I'd have probably had them at 15th or 16th place. I don't actually know how good Lewis O'Brien is these days because we've not really seen him tested too much in the last few years. So we'll have to wait and see. Josh Windass is in the door as well, who will be a good signing for them. They've got another couple of fresh faces as well. And there also could be, at time of recording, he has not signed, but there's lots and lots of murmurings about Kiefer Moore going there. And I think Kiefer Moore would be a good player for for Wrexham. So yeah, 11th place for Wrexham. That's what I've gone for. I don't think that's really box office for the documentary, but I think that I think they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, 𝗬𝗲𝗄 with the way Phil Parkinson plays probably will be decent, but it's some of the signings I'm not so sure about. I've already gone with my Wrexham prediction. In 11th place, I've gone with a side that, honestly, I could completely change this if you talked me around, because they could be a playoff contending team. West Brom. I might regret this one. This is the one I'm really on the fence about. Ryan Mason is their manager. Again, could be a sneaky good team. Nat Phillips is a good signing. I actually think they've got goals as well in their side. I like Josh Maja, Daryl DK if he can stay fit. There's some decent players in there. So West Brom 11th, maybe I'll come to regret that one.
10th place, though, Hal, I've gone for Millwall. I feel like Millwall are always in and around the playoffs. I think they're just going to be outside the playoffs, but I think they're going to flirt with the playoffs for most of the season. Alex Neil is always going to be a good manager. Alex Neil's not going to have you near the bottom three, but I just don't think they've got enough to mount a top six challenge. But I say that every season, and every season they're in and around the playoffs.
I literally can't add anything to that, because 10th, I've got Millwall as well, and you've said everything that I was going to say.
Fair enough. And 9th place, we might as well just skip through the rest of them, because 9th place, I've gone for West Brom. And I've pretty much said that the only problem that I've got with West Brom is that Ryan Mason is a bit of a risk. But at the same time, Tom Cleverley did really, really well at Watford when no one saw that coming. So I'm not saying they're the same manager at all. I'm just thinking midfielders, small midfielders, probably going to be the same.
In 9th place, I've gone with Leicester City, and that is only because of the possible 12 points. Maybe it'll be less, maybe it'll be more deduction. Without that deduction, I think they'd finish in the playoffs. So caveat that, because, of course, at time of recording, we don't know about the deduction. It's just heavily rumoured. I think, by the way, there is going to be a points deduction in this league. In July, you need to know what that is. So anyway, I do think, obviously, the squad is very, very good. They have kept hold of the majority of their quality players. Of course, they've lost Jamie Vardy. Cifuentes is a good gaffer. I'm only putting them 9th because I do believe they will get a points deduction.
So in 8th place, I've gone for Norwich City. I think that, coaxing Liam Manning away from Bristol City was a fantastic bit of business. I think that's probably the best bit of business that they could do. Very, very good manager. Obviously, punched above his weight at Bristol City last season. Could be a huge, huge masterstroke. Not too sure about the squad, whether it is good enough for a top six finish. So that's why I've just gone for 8th.
In 8th, I've gone with Bristol City. Now, we know a playoff team last season. Liam Manning, you've just mentioned, has gone. 𝗬𝗲𝗄𝗏 Struber, is that how you say his name?
Struber, I think it's Struber.
Comes in. Emil Rees comes in. Decent striker at championship level. We've already spoken about him. But overall, losing Nahki Wells, Naismith, Gardner-Hickman, they'll miss out.
In 7th place, we've got Middlesbrough for me. I've said on many videos that Rob Edwards will go to someone next and have a really, really good time there. And I feel like this could be one of those where Borough could finish 3rd, they could finish 4th. But I've gone 7th just because it's a bit of a failure mentality, I think, at Borough at the moment. We'll have to wait and see whether Rob Edwards can turn that around. But yeah, they've come so close so many times and failed every time. I don't know whether that's just a Michael Carrick thing or whether they're going to be able to mount a playoff push, but they're certainly going to be in and around there. I know that for certain, but I can't remember where they finished last season, but it looked like they were going to finish in the playoffs, and then they ended up finishing like 12th or something ridiculous like that. So let's see if they can get rid of a lot of that negativity and go for another push.
Middlesbrough finished 10th last season. Ridiculous. I have gone in 7th place, another one like West Brom that I could easily be swayed, and this will still depend on more transfers. I've gone with Norwich City in 7th, but I might be regretting this one. Now, the reason I've done that is because Rowe, Sainz, gone. Big losses. But
yeah,
Kvistgarden is a class addition. Papa Diallo, Jacob Wright, Harry Darling, and keeper 𝗍𝗄𝗏 are not good signings, great signings. But Rowe, Sainz, and maybe at time of recording, Josh Sargent, he's rumoured to be going as well. That's too much. they've lost too many key players there, in my opinion, to make the top 6, but the additions are so good, I think they'll be just outside. Defensive midfielder Maatsen, linked at time of recording, that could be a good addition and push them towards top 6, but again, depends how they gel.
Yeah, completely agreed. Really good manager as well. So let's move on to 6th place, and I've gone for Frank Lampard's Coventry City.
Yep.
You got to say it like that, haven't you? Let's be
Well,
honest.
that's literally what I've written, and I've gone with Coventry in 6th as well.
No disrespect to Coventry, it's just ridiculous how the media say Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa or Frank Lampard's Chelsea. No, it wasn't Frank Lampard's Chelsea. It was Frank Lampard's Derby, wasn't it? That's where it kind of started. But I think a full first season under Frank Lampard will see them finish 6th and see them do really well. Still got Haji Wright as at time of recording and Jack Redone. So I think they'll go good again. It must be frustrating being a Coventry City fan though, because they're always the nearly men, and at least they got into the playoffs last season, and they went really, really close. And I wish they'd have gone closer, because I think we'd have got promoted if they'd have gone closer. But no disrespect to Coventry City. I think they'll have another good season, and I think they'll finish in the playoffs. And who knows what could happen in the playoffs?
Could do better. They finished 5th last season. I've also, though, gone with them 6th because I do think there's a lot of good teams we haven't mentioned yet. Frank Lampard surprising a few. Good squad, which we saw last season. Probably, as you say, should have made the playoff final. 𝗍𝗲𝗵𝗿, a good addition at right back from Villa. Carl Rushworth on loan from Brighton. They've now got that good goalkeeper for championship level. So I do think playoffs again for Cov.
In 5th place, I've gone for Leicester City. I think new, really, really good manager. I think Cifuentes. I've never actually said his name out loud. I've heard lots of people say it. Yeah, good. Cifuentes, I feel like he was really good at QPR, and I think he'll be quality at Leicester. They've got a top squad. A lot of negativity around the fan base. I was on a Leicester channel not too long ago talking about Chris Wilder going to Leicester, which never happened. But loads of negativity around Leicester City. And I think that's kind of what happens when you come down. But then you come down, you win a load of games, and you get that positivity back. So I feel like that's what's going to happen. I'm going to put out a bold statement here, Hal. Leicester are going to finish 5th, despite the points deduction, and then they're going to win the playoffs, mate. What do you think about that?
I think that you've mentioned it. There's a lot of negativity, and they've lost their legend, and that's why I haven't. And the points deduction, which is looming. I just don't know how you can have Leicester in the playoffs. I think imagine if it is 9 points that they're playing catch up to. I know we had a points deduction last season, but it was only 2 points, and in the end, it ended up not being consequential. We would have made the playoffs anyway. But I think a sizable points deduction, like 9 or 12, that's too much to overcome in what I think is going to be a really competitive championship. That's why I can't go with Leicester in the playoffs.
Yeah, do you know what? I know this is for a different video. It's probably not for a video on this channel, but I just don't understand how Leicester have gone from winning the Premier League to being a yo-yo club between the Premier League and the Championship in just a few seasons. It's more than a few seasons, but it's just wild how that's happened. But
they didn't kick on, did they? You're right. It's a video for another day and not on this channel, but I do have a theory on that, which maybe we can discuss. That's another time.
Right, okay. Fair
So,
enough.
5th place for me. And I'm going to ask you a question. Before I give you my 5th place, we'll do 5th and 4th. Can I go first for 3rd, 2nd, and 1st this year?
Ooh, if you want to, mate, you can do whatever you want. It's my channel.
That's a weird way of putting it. In 5th place, Birmingham City, winners of League One. Now, they've spent money. Tom Brady, they've got him, but I don't think they'll deflate. They've got Kyogo, Tommy Doyle, Damari Gray, Cashin, Beadle in goal. Some rate him, some don't. But will they get hit with PSR? They are spending a lot of money. Who knows? They could finish higher, but new league. I think they'll have a little adjustment time, but I do think Birmingham City are going to be very, very strong. So for the Blue Noses, 5th place.
Yeah, and I've gone for 4th place, Birmingham City. Everything that you've just said, they've brought in a lot of players, a hell of a lot of players.
Good players as well, not just squad players. Players that we would have actually said, yes, please.
Also, their pre-season has not gone to plan. They've lost a lot of games in that pre-season to a lot of poor teams. And looking at the players that they've put out, I think it's because they've chopped and changed a little bit, which is understandable. And a lot of people don't put stock in pre-season. I'm one of those people, but at the same time, I think I'd just mention it because it seems like they haven't gelled together as a squad, as a team just yet. But it's going to be a long season. I just thought I'd throw that in there, and that's the reason why I don't think they're going to finish, top two or anything. So yeah, in fourth place, I've gone for Birmingham. You've gone for
Middlesbrough. And you were talking about Borough earlier,
oh
and I was listening to every word you were saying and agreeing with you. But we know they were disappointing last season with that 10th place. But Rob Edwards comes in. He'll have learnt a
yeah.
lot from Luton Town last season. 𝗤𝗏𝗄, Fry, Conway, Beto Borges, all good players, and they'll make additions. I'm backing them to surprise a few and finish fourth. I'd like to take the lead now with the final three positions. So, third place, and then we'll get Nick's thoughts. I've gone with Southampton. Will Still's men might take a little time to gel. Ramsdale, Archer, then Brereton Diaz for the ex-Blades connection, and that's enough for me to be sure that they'll finish in the playoffs and lose in the final. But last season, awful results will take time to get out of the system, I think. That match to kick off against Wrexham will be box office, a complete contrast of playing styles. I do think Southampton, though, because of that gel time, they miss out on the top two. I've gone with third. Who have you gone with?
Ooh, let's think. Southampton.
Nice.
And I'm now worried that we've got all the top three the same. But let's
Probably.
see what happens. Let's see what unfolds. Let's unpack this together, Hal. I think they've got a great championship squad. They might even lose a couple of players before the end of the season, but those three just mentioned, who's coming in for them? Like, I know I wouldn't. They'll have a lot of negativity because they finished with next to no points last season. I think they finished with less points than we did the season before in the worst Premier League team of all time, as everyone kept saying. Yeah, we did
Tell me about it.
concede 100 plus goals, but they finished with less points, and I thought they were flirting with Derby's record low points total at one point. So there's got to be negativity in there. I don't care what anyone says. New manager. I don't know Will Still's playing style, but from going from Russell Martin's playing style, nobody's as patient in the build-up as Russell Martin. So it might take a little bit of time to get used to a different manager's style of play. That'll be interesting to see. Hopefully interesting for the worst, because obviously in second place, Hal, you've gone for
Sheffield United. I think we've got a horrible feeling that we're going to go exactly the same. Of course, third last season. Let's go for one better. I think will be really exciting under 𝗵𝗵𝗴. We'll probably allow more shots on goal, but I feel we'll be better to watch, certainly for the neutral. We'll have width, we'll attack in numbers with pace, end-to-end at times, and after the adjustment period, I predict a slowish, mixed results start, but once the team cohesion is there, I think we'll fly. Campbell, Cannon, and Arblaster, my three to have big seasons, maybe Brooks as well if he gets regular minutes. We can't finish in the playoffs because, in my opinion, that's the same end result as finishing 21st.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I can't really add anything else to that. Other than I'm excited to see Sayers ball next season in full flow. I've gone for Sheffield United too, which you probably already guessed, because
Oh, yeah.
Sheffield United don't win the championship. We just can't win the championship. We always finish second when we get promoted. So I hope we're finishing second. I have got a sneaky feeling that if it doesn't start brilliantly, we could finish in the playoffs. Because there's some really exciting and competitive teams in the championship this
You're
season.
right.
It's going to be exciting.
You're
It's
right.
going
You're
to be
spot on.
exciting, whatever happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good
So
championship season, I think, for the neutral, which means that there's no drama, unfortunately, if you're watching this, for top spot. We've both gone with the same team. I promise you we didn't see each other's notes beforehand. Ipswich Town, relegated from the Premier League. McKenna, he's magic. The manager, felt like they bought for the championship last season. I like a lot of their players. Despite losing Liam Delap, they got a lot of money for him. 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐶𝗁, I think that's how you say his name, the defensive midfielder, for 11 million from Stade de Rennes. Great signing. 𝗵𝗵𝗴, the centre-back, I know a lot of people won't know him. Absolute top quality. I think they'll be right up there, to the point where they'll be literally right up there.
Yeah, I don't think they've got a lot of players that people are snapping their hand off for them, other than obviously 𝗏𝗏's gone. So I think they'll keep a lot of those players intact. Really, really good manager. Got them promoted last time. I thought they had quite a good season last season, in all honesty. I think they didn't necessarily have a Premier League squad, which, you know, the other two teams didn't either. But I think Ipswich had a good season. It looked like they were going to finish third bottom rather than second bottom, which would, you know, be something. Yeah, for the majority of the season, I think they were the most competitive team. And I think next season they're I think they're going to win it. And I think the bookies are saying Ipswich, Saints, Sheffield United, but obviously I don't know whether it's our heart that's saying Sheffield United finish second or what. But everyone seems to have the common consensus that Ipswich are going to finish top. And I can't say anything other than that.
What I will just say to close is, obviously, one, we want your predictions in the comments like we do every year. We also every year know that I will get more of these right. No one scored.
Whoa. The season before, I finished.
You're only as good as your last season. No one remembers that. That's old news.
It's 1-1.
You're an
Sorry,
antique.
it's 1-1. It's
Forget
1-1.
You're only as good as your last season.
The first season, I finished about 50 points in front of you. So none of this, I win every season. It's 1-1.
Every season.
Decider. Deal with it.
Now, no one scored 20-plus goals last season in the Championship. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 managed 19, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 18, and he was injured for a big part of it. And Josh Brownhill, also from midfield, 𝗏𝗏 player, 18. So my other question for the comments, because I got asked this on a Neutrals YouTube channel, who's going to be the top scorer in the Championship? Obviously, it's not going to be a Sheffield United player, so I don't want any Sheffield United players in there. But who is going to be the top scorer in the Championship? I'd be really interested to finally be able to answer that question.
Yeah, I don't know either. I can't think of anyone that jumps out.
No.
I think if Sargent stays with all the additions that they've made, I think there's a chance. But yeah, I'm not going to throw any more out there. I'm going to let people in the comments let us know. So thank you very much for joining us as always, Hallis. I love doing these videos. I really do, despite not knowing a hell of a lot about some of the teams. well, yeah. We're older these days, Hal, aren't we? We only care about our own club, but
it's true.
Fun to do. It's fun to do these videos. It really is, and see how well or badly we did, because it keeps us going, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much, Nick. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
𝗚𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗹𝗏